Do you have anything to say to the lovely people of YouTube and Facebook and
pay musicians properly. Hello.
Is that it?
No, there's more. I just can't do more than 2 things at once. That's a fridge.
Nice little dog.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I liked it.
The mystery of the dog.
We became friends.
Hi guys and girls, and welcome to another episode of How We Roll. Today we're in Tom's kitchen. Hi Tom. Basically I'm here to show you a different perspective on disability. As you can see, the kitchen is fully adapted. I'll stop talking and let Tom take over.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. It's not kind of overly adapted. There's nothing sort of motorised or magical or anything. But all the worktops are low, so I can get underneath, chop things. No cupboards on the wall.
Red tiles, yeah.
Red tiles, lots of red tiles. Nothing to do with football, thank you very much. No cupboards on the wall, so I don't have to stretch or reach for anything. But what I do have is 3 or 4 of these things, which are just little IKEA jobs that I put my pots and pans in.
Trolleys, yeah.
Trolleys. Frying pans and all that stuff. I use the tops of the trolleys as kind of pantry. Baked beans, can never have enough baked beans.
Yeah.
The cooker, the oven is not adapted necessarily, but it's certainly a lot lower than you would have in a typical kitchen. So as this opens, obviously it's a lot easier for me to reach for the grill and open and close the door and pull things out. The hob, again, I can move the bin and move my pots from left to right. And, I was very keen to have as much space as possible because it's a fairly large kitchen anyway. I mean, Bushra and I are both wheelchair users, and we can move around fairly okay. We don't bump into each other that much, but I wanted to utilise the space as much as possible. So it all, for me, probably doesn't look it, but for me it feels like the kitchen goes from the left. Because if you imagine, getting your dinner out from here, it goes onto there. You can prepare the plates and prepare the food.
It makes sense.
Yeah. The hob has space on either side, so you can move the pots and pans, and it just frees you up. It doesn't restrict you from. It doesn't confine you to being in a particular place for a particular job. I think when I first moved in, the sink was there, and the hob was there, and it just felt very odd to me, kind of moving stuff around. On top of which,
it would have created some distance as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of distance, and on top of which, it was a normal kitchen. So the hob was up there somewhere. So I was chopping vegetables, doing all that business. I had a standalone hob and oven combi thing, right? So it was very, very precarious, and it was a bit dangerous. And let's just say I had a couple of near misses, and I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. I think it took about 8 months to get the idea together. It took about 3 days to do the kitchen, but it took about 8 months to kind of piece it all together and actually decide what I wanted. And then just to kind of put it into some perspective, as to how different it was going to be. I remember when I first moved in here, they put in a standard kitchen, and I'd said, oh, how about me doing some of my own cooking, and I really would like to, you know, be able to move around the kitchen and, you know, just be as independent as possible. And someone from the council had come round, and their immediate response was, oh, well, you can just use a microwave, you know, or it was, oh, well, you can just get someone else to do it. That was their immediate response, because that's the easiest solution. But when you actually start thinking about wanting to be independent,
but this was the stereotype I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I think, I mean, I get comments from all kinds of people, like the Sainsbury's man who delivers my food. It's like, oh, this kitchen's a bit different, isn't it? So it's kind of, people notice it because they see it, and in that moment it makes sense. But if you hadn't have kind of said, oh, I want a kitchen with no cupboards in it and worktops that are really low, their immediate response is, oh, well, how's someone else going to use it? It's like, well, that's not the point. The point is, I want to be able to use it. And I will say that fortunately I'm in a position where I don't need care in that conventional sense. So I don't need to have someone to come in and do my meal. I'm fortunate in that way. I don't need someone to come in and do my meals and use my space in the same way. If someone wants to come and cook dinner for me, yes please, but it's not a necessity.
I love this kitchen because in comparison to what I've got at home, it's totally amazing.
And you've got a normal kitchen.
A standard kitchen.
Yeah, standard kitchen. And you're kind of expected to just deal with it, and
yeah.
you know, and you can't.
At some point, I will show you guys the kitchen space that I have at home.
There are just some things that, as a disabled person, you can't do. So, and that's where my thinking came from. It's like, well, okay, how can I make a space work for me? I wasn't really interested in, you know, design in that sense, but it was just out of purely practical need that I kind of sat down and put it all together, and it works. Even little things like there's a couple of vertical legs, but these legs here, they don't go to the floor, they go to the wall, so you can go all the way in without catching yourself. And those little things make a hell of a difference. There's really, really good stuff. Anyway, I like it. It's cool.
You like it, I love it. Thank you, Tom, for preparing the bagels and...
Bagel one.
Okay, one bagel. One bagel. And thank you for the kitchen tour.
I apologise for the state of my kitchen and the mess, but you know, it's not IKEA. Hi Mum! Alright then, so this is the continuation of the tour of my house. This is a bathroom. This was the one room that was done when I first moved in. Obviously there's the shower, complete walk-in. It's fairly spacious. There's not much else really that kind of makes it any different to any other sort of bathroom. There's rails, a couple of rails.
Swivel doors.
Swivel doors?
The gliding doors for the shower.
Oh yeah. The on the shower. They slide, so I can actually, and I have got my chair in and out and showered in my chair, and also washed the chair because I've been in some fairly muddy places. A couple of rails, which I use as a towel rail, really, to be honest. Yeah, so it's a nice space. Needs a hot tub, apart from that.
How are you going to fit a hot tub in there?
There's always space for a hot tub. Yeah, as you can see, that's the front door. So if you come in,
you're greeted.
where we are now is basically the landing. And
here's the kitchen.
That's Bushra is having trouble finding you. Bushra's not part of the flat. She doesn't actually live here. That's my living room. I'll explain the drum kit later.
Show me the drum room.
Yeah, alright, in a minute.
Show me the drum room.
Bedroom. Again, nothing too out of the ordinary, just a room. But I've kind of gone for keeping things as clean and as clear as possible. Simply because moving a wheelchair around means that you need space to not bang into things. It's you know, you can't really step around things or anything like that. And Bushra knows all about that.
Stop it.
What? No, it's just you're a bit bigger than me, aren't you? So yeah, alright then.
Well,
Yeah?
will you grace this episode by playing a bit of drum?
No, it's too late.
Okay.
It's too late. But this is where the magic happens. There are 2 drum kits in here. I play a fair bit of drums. No, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's basically a music room. I gig, I play and teach as well. But this is a case in point. There is a ton of stuff in this room, but it's still quite spacious because there's nothing else. There's no sofa, there's no television, it's just drums.
Mum
So
and I both live on Netflix, so
too right.
you know.
And Blinkbox.
Blinkbox I haven't tried.
Place is awesome, brilliant. Yeah, so I don't worry myself with TV or anything really that takes up any space. So I can move around and I can have other people in here that come and play.
Maybe you'll play for another week.
Yeah, I will. I'll do it now. It's late. But yeah, like I said, there's not really anything. I'm filming a wall. Like I said, there's not really anything that's
so different.
off. Or, yeah, there's no kind of strange hoists or anything, or you know, floating cupboards. But it's kind of the place has been thought about, and it's all about space. Apologies for the jeans on the floor, but we won't talk about it. Yeah, it's all about space.
Space is important, as we all know.
Yeah.
We all have to be practical.
On another day, we'll have a look at the garden, and because it's a bit dark.
And you'll play drums. Play drums! Showcase your talent! You're wicked, you're epic, you're awesome.
I'll pay it to say that. Alright, cool. What?
Nothing. Thanks for watching, guys. Signing out.